Speaking of
minis,
the PlayStation Classic finally found its sweet price.
sweet spot.
Its sweet spot.
The must-have price, the market research price.
The must-have price of $19.99.
Woo!
And it sold them. Amazon.com.
Prime Day.
And I believe Best Buy was also doing them in store at that price. Someone told me a few days ago.
Let's see what it is on Target.
But yes, the once 100
for $20 at Target too.
Okay.
And Best Buy. Yeah.
So the once $100 system that everyone was sure was going to fly off the shelves and become impossible to have is now $20.
I don't know if someone said it'd be impossible to have.
Well, people
thought they would sell.
People were trying to make it that way. People were buying them up, and the stores still had those signs that said one per customer, taped to giant stacks of them.
That was a mistake, Walmart and Target.
Well, here we are. Sony showed that by cutting corners and making a shitty mini console, not everyone's just gonna buy something because it looks nice.
They overpriced it at $100.
They overpriced
as well.
it.
It should have been $80 at most.
The game list, like I said, was trying to do too much and ended up winning no one.
A very suspect game list. We were very critical once we saw Rainbow Six on there.
I was going to say, because everyone remembers that classic PlayStation game, Rainbow Six.
Holy shit.
Everyone played it on the PlayStation.
with their cross pad.
Yeah.
Yes, we all did that. And this just came out, 6 months ago?
This came out at the beginning of December.
7 months.
What a long, strange trip it's been.
Well, I'm going to give you a lesson on products and how this works. So if they charge us $100, this was probably wholesaled at $50. Usually these things wholesale at 50% of the cost, roughly, for products like this, which means that it probably cost Sony to make one of these units probably $20, maybe $25.
Let's say $20 to $25.
That's a reasonable guess by the math. So that means at $20, whoever they wholesale the units for are losing anywhere from $20 to $30. I can safely say per unit, they are losing money trying to clear these out to get some cost back. This is a massive, massive dumpster fire failure of a product for Sony. You cannot sugarcoat this in any way. Yeah, you can get a cheap $20 PlayStation portable emulator. You can buy those fucking devices and load up more games and do things like that. Yeah, you can do that. I'm just telling you for how this looks for the industry, this is like a mini bubble that popped, basically. After only 2 of them, though, it popped.
Yeah.
NES Classic, SNES Classic, both did very well. Couldn't find the NES Classic till they still couldn't find it after they produced more. Well, Super Nintendo did better. PlayStation, they went too far. So they're almost ruining this niche before it's even getting off the ground still.
Yeah. What remains to be seen is how well the Genesis Mini does and how well the Turbo Mini does to see if
I think
they
it's the
bounce
price.
back.
To me, it's all about the price.
Sure.
What is it, Genesis Mini? Is it 80?
Genesis Mini is going to be 80, and that list is fire, so I think it's pretty safe.
So that's safe at 80 because that was a popular system. Even though they have the At Games bullshit, they're going to probably throw a lot of marketing behind this to help for a lot of the comm people don't know about the At Games stuff because they didn't walk into a fucking Walmart. But TurboGrafx, I think that I'm hedging my bets now with the price with the TurboGrafx, and plus because not a lot of people know about TurboGrafx compared to Genesis, so I'm kind of hedging my bets. But this is it's a win for the consumer if you want one for $20. Hell, for the controller, it might be worth it to get a USB PlayStation controller. It might be worth it for $20.
I do like the original. I like the original PlayStation controllers without the analog sticks.
You don't want the option of having.
I mean, I would love that.
Controls.
I'm just saying I do like. I just like the way they hold.
Oh yeah, they hold fine.
They're comfortable.
So when you look at that, you can say, well, for $20, maybe a controller like that would cost $10, $15. You're getting a bonus PlayStation Classic emulator console.
That you can put on your shelf and look at and say, you're going to do so much with this and then never do anything with it.
Because the emulation's garbage and the list is suspect.
And apparently the emulation's fine now. Well, if you hack it, yeah.
Well, the whole PAL ROM versus
you get rid
US.
Of all that.
Like that's, you get rid of all that. Like you said, you gotta then put my time is money in. I don't have to fiddle with my console device.
You wouldn't bother hacking with it. That was my point.
You would play you play a couple games, you throw it in the trash. So I almost bought one. I was like, no, still no.
I almost did too. I kept telling this one guy I chat with online, I was like, $25, I think, is the sweet spot. I said $25, I'll buy one. And then he at me and he asks me and he's like, it's 25 now, and I'm like, I can't. And now it's 20, and it's like what it comes down to every time is I'm like, do I want a PlayStation Mini, or do I want drugs, candy, food, anything else more than I want this PlayStation Mini? And the answer is always
drugs.
Yes, I'm gonna go buy drugs and rock and roll.
Drugs and rock and roll. What would be the price that were? What would $10 be the price? Say I have to at $10, or is it $5? Is it that low? Where you said I have to?
I'm also at a point in my life where I'm trying to acquire less stuff.
Sure.
Even at $5,
would you buy it at $5?
Sure, $5. At $5, I'd buy it, open it up, look at it, and be like, "That's cute." And then if I didn't hack it within a week, I'd give it to someone. I'd take it to work and put it in the fucking free bin.
I don't think they're gonna. They cannot offer it lower than 20, even though they sold out in a few hours of at 20. So that's the price point. That's what $20.
That's what I came into this conversation laughing at. Is the sweet spot is 20.
Sony, if you priced it at $20, you would have sold millions of these. Maybe if they sold it at $50 originally and got they could have, or $60, they would have sold a lot.
Honestly,
$60 to $80.
I honestly have a feeling that the price might not have been such a big deal if
there was a game list was good.
If the game list was good, and B, the emulation nonsense hadn't gotten out. As I was saying, this is one of those things that proves to a company that people are starting to pay attention to this stuff.
Yes.
Something that they probably thought was minor and that only us nerds were going to care about. Word of that spread around, and they didn't even know exactly what PAL region meant. A lot of the people who came in to talk to me about it at work or who mentioned it, but they knew there was something weird about the games that were lower quality.
Something amiss.
Yeah, exactly.
With the emulation and the frame rates and weird dodgy things happening. That's bad. Because a lot of this stuff catches fire and gets noticed online, and then as soon as you see that, you start to see details about things. There was a robust commercial campaign for it. They put it on TV. They did it for the NES and Super Nintendo Classic, which to me was insane that they didn't do that. Nintendo. Oh, we don't like marketing and selling products for cash.
I don't know. It didn't seem like they really needed to worry about it.
They didn't, but if they'd made more units and advertised it, they would have sold as many as they could produce. They could have. Anyway, so... All right, $20. Pat missed out unless he goes on Target or Walmart and buys them. There's still probably 100,000 of these.
Oh God,
in stock somewhere.
I forgot that it only came loaded with 20 games too. The fucking hubris out of Sony. Holy shit!
It happened with the motion controllers. Made fun of Nintendo. They came out with their crappy.
The fucking balls on them to do 20 games for $100.
They figured the PlayStation sold a lot of,
They're charging you $5.
But there also is what I always said. There isn't that sort of console loyalty when it comes to it versus Nintendo. That's the other big thing too. The PlayStation isn't like, well, I'm going to put a PlayStation poster on my wall. That's not as a thing compared to Nintendo, Super Nintendo. It's just
charging you $5 a ROM. All right. Anyways, I'm not paying $5 for fucking Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six.
Rest in peace, Tom Clancy. All right.